The bead-headed pheasant-tail nymph is one of my favorite nymphs to fish year-long. It's great for Euro nymphing and it represents Baetis patterns pretty well and a mix of other aquatic insects. We're tying this on a size 16 jig head hook and we've got a 2.8 millimeter tungsten bead on there. Now this first step is optional. I'm tying on silver wire and the purpose of this is not really to add weight to the fly, but this is going to help position my bead head in the right orientation. The bead head that I'm using is not set up for a jig head. It doesn't have a slot in it. So the wire pushed inside of it helps it keep upright. After we've got the wire on, we're going to start our thread just behind the wire. I'm using orange thread, and this is going to help finish a hot spot. I'm building up a thread ramp first so that I can wrap evenly onto the wire. This will help also create a nice tapered body going up the shank of the hook. So next I'm grabbing just a piece of brown Rooster hackle and I'm going to pull about 7 to 10 barbs off of this. I like to use Rooster hackle fibers instead of the actual pheasant tail for the tail because these seem to be a little bit more durable. The tips of pheasant tail are pretty brittle and will often break off from a fish or just from handling the fly. So tying in hackle fibers as the tail seems to make this fly last a bit longer. Next I'm going to tie in the ribbing material. This is UTC Ultrawire and medium brass Keller. And now we can tie in our body. This is going to be the pheasant tail portion. This is 4 fibers of a pheasant tail. And I'm going to tie them in from the tip area, but not right at the tips. I'm going to go up about a third of the way. Like I said, the tips are really brittle, and if you tie them in right at the tips, chances are you're going to break them while wrapping. Then we can cut off that excess. Now you could leave your thread back by the tie-in point of the pheasant tail. I wrapped it forward, but if you leave it back by the tie-in point and wrap up against the thread as you go forward, that thread will help keep your pheasant tail fibers all together. You can see mine have kind of splayed out a little bit. Not a huge deal. You want to wrap at least 2/3 the way up the body. That last third is going to be the thorax, which we will cover with Peacock Herl. And then we're going to counter wrap our ribbing. Usually 3 to 4 wraps will get us up to the front of the fly. And we can helicopter this off once we've tied it off. I'm going to start the Peacock Herl right behind the bead and then work back about a third the way down the body. And then that way the front third of this fly is the thorax. And we'll make a couple wraps to secure that Peacock Herl and cut it off. Now when we go to whip finish this fly, I want to keep the thread as close to the bead as possible because I don't want to smash down any of the peacock fibers if I can help it. I want to keep that thorax nice and prominent. So I'll make 2 3-turn whip finishes to finish off this fly. All right, let's go fish it. Alright, so here's our orange hotspot bead-headed pheasant tail nymph, and we're out on the Arkansas. It's January 25th, and just doing a little Euro nymphing. This water right here in this column is about 3 feet deep. This guy took the pheasant tail right up against that ice shelf on the other side. There's a kind of a calm sandbar area where the water's pretty slack, so it's a great holding spot for fish that are trying not to expend too much energy in the current. They can kind of watch food come by on a conveyor belt and swing out into the seam, pick it up, and hop back in. So that's how I got this guy. Nice little brown. Took it right there in the corner of the mouth. Pheasant tail. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you liked it, go ahead and click like and subscribe to us. We try to put out fly tying videos or vlogs every week, so definitely stay tuned. We have a lot more coming. Thanks again.